at what was known as the Nunnery, still known as the Nunnery, allegedly founded by St. Bridget in the 6th century, and she was a saint who was involved in all sorts of things, including healing, which I think is appropriate for a well. Hopefully we can find it today. I saw it over 10 years ago, and at that time it was very overgrown, and unfortunately the previous winter a large tree had apparently fallen directly onto it. The well is commonly referred to as Chibbyr Vreeshey, the well of St. Bridget. There are a number of keels which are dedicated to Breeshey, Breeshey being the Manx Gaelic version of Bridget, and we have the parish of Bride in the north of the island with the church there, and we would probably assume that the church was built on the site of an old keel. That seems to be the pattern, and maybe there was a keel here, which is why it became a religious site later on in the medieval period. So if we assume that Chibbyr Vreeshey being on a religious site is a holy well, holy wells are not just your ordinary little spring coming out of a bank on the side of a hill, because they are going to be used by people who believe in them, and they are going to give offerings. They're going to put in money or objects, or they're going to tie ribbons to the trees next to them, and they're going to believe that they will get benefit from the waters of the well. That might be healing, so it might be to put in your eyes to heal problems with your eyes. It might be simply to drink the water, and these would have been very strongly believed, and there's numerous tales associated with wells around the Isle of Man and their fantastic properties, and this well here at the Nunnery is no different. People visited wells for a variety of reasons, and one of the important things is that a lot of wells have well dressings and so on, and there are festive days, there are saints' days. So on the Isle of Man you've got Laa'l, which is the day of Bridget or Breeshey, and almost certainly on that day you would make a visit to the well and give offerings of some sort. A lot of people in previous generations were very superstitious and saw or heard the little folk. This site here is no exception, and old Mary, we think she lived in a small cottage nearby. She did leave behind a story that was collected. It concerns the preparation of a meal and brandy being left on the table, and a troop of fairies come into the house and basically scoff everything in sight. And old Mary is slightly upset by this, as well as being very scared by the whole event, and the Queen of the Fairies, as a punishment, decides that she will blow some powder into one of old Mary's eyes. Very serious, because after that event Mary was blind in one eye. Unfortunately the well, it would appear, couldn't cure that, and she was the custodian of the well, if you like, but she was also very scared of it, I suspect, because of this incident. In addition to that, it's said that whenever people passed by the well they would hear this amazing exquisite music that was nothing like any human could make. But whether they were hearing that right at the well or just as they were passing by, I don't know. To me, this site is very important. Chibbyr Vreeshey is part of the whole medieval landscape here and earlier. And I think the whole Nunnery estate is really vital from a Manx historic point of view. And I think it's an important area within Douglas. As we become more urbanised, this is a nice sort of pocket of land full of all sorts of interesting nooks and crannies.